It's a front row start for the third time on the trot this season for the Scuderia's Sebastian Vettel, but this time he grabbed pole by just half a tenth from the rising Red Bull star Pierre Gasly, who got his first podium last time out in Brazil. Daniel Ricciardo will likely be frustrated with third place as he was just 17 thousandths of a second too slow for the front row, and he's joined by the other Red Bull of Max Verstappen, although Max was nearly 7/10ths slower than his rookie teammate. Last year's champion Stoffel Vandoorne could only manage 5th fastest in qualifying for McLaren's home race, and he's followed by the fastest Brit on the grid as Aarav pipped Lewis for top honors in 6th position, Hamilton down in P9. Antonio Giovinazzi impressed once again in the Toro Rosso, sandwiched between Aarav and Wehrlein, the Mercedes boys struggling with the tricky Silverstone circuit. Bottas managed to squeeze in the top 10 for a struggling Williams team at their home race as well, easily getting the better of his teammate Nico Rosberg. Sat in between the Williams boys is Carlos Sainz in 11th with an over half-second gap between himself and his teammate, although Carlos has managed to get the measure of Antonio at both of the races this season.
What's going on, guys? Aarava here. Welcome back to my F1 MyDriver career mode, episode number 3 for season 3 today at the British Grand Prix. It's been a bit of a while since episode number 2, of course. We had a lot of F1 2016 preview gameplay to get through, but finally I've got around to making episode number 3, and we'll get back on track with this career mode from now on to finish it ahead of the release of the 2016 game. But guys, thank you very much for the support on episode number 2, going all the way back to Thursday, was it? Reading through the comments, just absolutely awesome that you guys enjoyed the episode as much as I did to make it. It was really a fantastic episode, so if you have missed that one at the Brazilian Grand Prix, do go check it out. There's a card in the top right of the video right now, an annotation. You can go click to watch that, but great to, as usual, just great to read through all the comments and also just see the number of likes within like 24 hours. Just absolutely crazy. Always blows my mind how much support you guys are giving MyDriver. It really is very, very humbling indeed. But we're here for the British Grand Prix, obviously the start of the European season, so we've brought a few upgrades. The qualifying has improved a tad, but the car still isn't great on balance on lower fuel. In the race, though, it should get a little bit better, and we'll see how it goes in the race today. You can see the Ferrari's looking pretty good. Sebastian Vettel on pole position. Of course, he's not had his fair share of luck in the MyDriver career mode universe, so we'll see if he can convert it. In terms of the strategy today, it's going to be an option prime strategy. I think I may put the prime tyres, though, in the middle and put that on my first pit stop set to get them out of the way to be a lot faster at the end, but we'll see how it goes and see what sort of position we're in when we make that first pit stop. But we go to 5 red lights for 26 laps ahead of us of the Silverstone circuit, and we're away. The lights are not waiting at all. Giovinazzi gets a great start there, as I've got a lot of wheel spin off the start as per usual in this career mode. We go side by side with Wehrlein as he tries to go down my inside, but it's no use, and we'll get back up into 7th place. But at the moment, Sebastian Vettel leading from Gasly. I then think it's Ricciardo, Verstappen, Vandoorne going side by side, Giovinazzi, and then myself, as we will try and hang it around the outside of this Toro Rosso. He takes a tighter line into that village section, and now we should be able to hang it around the outside and get back up into 6th place. Yes, we will on the exit off that corner towards that Luffield section, but we'll cut later on into the Grand Prix towards lap 2 when we chase down this pack in towards Mackens and Beckett's. Now you can see a lot of fighting going there. I think 2 Ferraris going side by side. I wonder who's in the lead. It might be Gasly. I think it is. Yes, Pierre Gasly, the Frenchman, leads the British Grand Prix now. 2 Ferraris going side by side. Vettel trying to fend off his teammate Daniel Ricciardo. We got Verstappen right behind them. Vandoorne slipstream. Look at this. We've got 5 cars separated by 1 second. You can throw a blanket over them. We get slipstream from Verstappen. Go to the right side. Overtake Verstappen and Vandoorne. Can we hang it down the inside of both the Ferraris? We'll do it against one at least, and that's Sebastian Vettel. Daniel Ricciardo is into 2nd place. Pierre Gasly's bolted away in 1st, but we'll get up into 3rd place, so we've gone up from 6th to 3rd. What an absolute great move that's been. Very opportunistic there in this inferior Mercedes, and we're up into 3rd by lap 3, and we're trying to chase down Daniel Ricciardo, but it might not be any use because we've got Stoffel Vandoorne right behind us, obviously the reigning world champion in the slipstream here in his McLaren. Here he goes. I think he'll have DRS as well. He will. We go side by side towards the next section. The swooping right-hander. He'll try and hang around the outside. I'll try my best to fend him off, but it looks like he's got some brilliant traction, and we'll just have to settle for right underneath his gearbox. But can we make a late move into the chicane? We'll try and hit the apex, squeeze him out, and we will. And I think Sebastian Vettel will try and make a move on Vandoorne, perhaps on the exit. Gasly sets fast up the Grand Prix. No, Vandoorne's still there. Vandoorne still down my inside on the last corner. He did fantastic there to stay down my inside. I really thought I would have got him there on the exit, but no, he tried his best. And now on to lap 6, 3 laps later though, and Giovinazzi, the youngster Italian in the Toro Rosso, coming up and trying to fight me for a podium position right now. The Italian doing absolute work in that turquoise Toro Rosso right now. We go side by side through Luffield. Lufil. Bang tyres. Giovinazzi's going to try his best to hang around the outside, and he has done successfully. And he's got me on the exit, and he's up into third place. What an absolute start for him in this Grand Prix. Up into third by lap 6. Wonderful stuff. We've got Verstappen now pressuring us into the old corner cops, and we'll try and chase after the Italian. We should be able to get a good run into Mackens and get a good run into the hangar straight. But let's see how this goes into this Mackens complex. We go around the outside of the Italian in the middle of this complex, but he just managed to hang it through for third right now. But we will have DRS here down the hangar straight. Verstappen will have the same, but we should have enough tow and slipstream and speed here in the little slipstream of the Toro Rosso to get this place. Try and go around the outside into the swooping right-hander. We've gone wide though, and Giovinazzi's taking a tighter line. He comes right back into the fray in third place right now. So can we hang it down the inside now? An identical move, other one we made to Van Dorn, and this time, look at that, compared to Van Dorn, Giovinazzi gets scared off into the entry of the corner, just showing the two kind of differences in experience there. Van Dorn able to keep it down the inside, whereas the GP2 graduate unable to do the same. But now onto lap 8, we come into the pits for our first pit stop here. This will be for a set of hard tyres, orange tyres. So just like I said at the beginning of the episode, that I might do that conscious strategy and change it up a little bit to go faster at the end, slower in the middle right now. The prime tyres aren't going to be very good. The hard tyres generally aren't usually very good on any F1 games. They're very difficult to actually heat up and just generally not a very nice tyre. We get held up a little bit there in the pits, you can see, by quite a few cars, but thankfully Sebastian Vettel there in the background gets held up as equally as me, so we've not lost any position, so he'll still stay behind us there, so we will be in third place. Daniel Ricciardo, interestingly, pit a lap ahead of us on lap 7, so he's trying the undercut. We'll see how that works out for him, probably will do, but I wanted to take my tyres that little bit longer just because I don't want to be on the prime tyres basically for too long. But we come at the pits, squirm at the pits actually, but Vettel right behind us. So it appears we come out in 10th place right now behind the Renault of Kevin Magnussen there in 9th place. So I think he's going a bit longer on his first stint surely, but you can just see the amount of traction or lack of traction we're getting in the prime tyres. Understeering on the left-hander there. Prime tyres really coming out cold versus the option tyres, and we're only on the out lap here. We just come out of the pits, and Sebastian Vettel is going to try and make a move down towards Brooklands. We try and squeeze him on the left-hand side. He's going to have none of it. We do this switchback line into Brooklands, come aggressively onto the curb, but Vettel does really well to hang it down the inside. He'll have the inside line to Lufil. We try and make a kind of cutback move wide into Lufil, but it really doesn't work out for us. We hit the gravel trap on the exit. We're going to have to try and come back at Vettel now on the hanger straight down the inside with DRS on the swooping right-hander. We'll try and squeeze him out. He's going to try his best to hang around the outside. He slides his front wing there. He's got good traction. Ricciardo's setting the fast lap of the Grand Prix, so Ricciardo's undercut working well for him. But into the last chicane, we just managed to stay ahead of Sebastian Vettel. But I think it will be quite a big fight here because Vettel's looking very feisty on those option tyres compared to us on the prime. And so as we come on to lap 10, you can see people in the pits on the left-hand side of the mini-map. So we're going to come up into 7th place through turn 1. Max Verstappen is going to come up in 6th place ahead of me, Sebastian, and Stoffel Van Dorn. So Max Verstappen, pretty sure he was behind all of us, and now he's ahead of all of us. So he's done the overcut, and we go really wide into the entry of this left-hander, and Sebastian Vettel has tried a cheeky little dive bomb move down the inside there. Didn't make it work, but he tried it. He just came out of nowhere and just thought he'd go for it. Now towards Brooklands, he'll go for another move down towards the Lufil section, this time on the right-hand side. I'm on the inside. We'll try and squeeze him out. We'll go a little bit wide maybe and try and squeeze him, but we're going to have to give him the room because he's well down the inside there on the curb. We try and hang around the outside of Lufil, but Vettel's done really well to just push me off a little bit. Oh, what has he done? Vettel brake checked me on the exit of Lufil. What has he done there? Vettel, that was not on, and we've lost the place to Van Dorn. What on earth was the German doing there? And now Giovinazzi's down our inside. Through cops, we've gone round the outside of Stoffel Van Dorn, but what on earth was Sebastian Vettel doing now on the exit of Lufil? Looks like he just completely forgot where the kind of throttle pedal was and hit the brake pedal by accident, because in the middle of the exit just completely brake checks me. But we move on to lap 12 on the end of the hangar straight. He's overtaken Kevin Magnussen now, so Magnussen's struggling. I think he must be on prime tyres surely, or just on, oh, he's on option, so he's just really taking these tyres way too long. A very weird strategy from Kevin Magnussen. I don't know, maybe he's trying a one stop for some reason. Maybe that's the only way he think he can get some points. Right now he is in the points. He's in 5th place right now, so fair play. We come to lap 14. It's overcast a little bit, so maybe there might be some British weather on the way, some classic British weather. But anyway, we'll get onto the back of the Renault. The first time I've ever fought a Renault in this series so far, so this will be quite tasty. We go left and then right, did a bit of fake and dive, and we go up into 5th place. And you can see in the top left, Daniel Ricciardo leads the British Grand Prix at the moment. Jumped both Red Bulls with his undercut on lap 7. That has worked out beautifully for him. But as we move on to the very next lap, Kevin Magnussen in his Renault is coming back at me down towards Brooklands. Yes, you did not hear me incorrectly. Kevin Magnussen in the Renault is coming back at me. I don't know what's going on right now, but he's got some great straight line speed. The Renault engine has been worked on, obviously, because we've seen it from Red Bull, but only now has the Renault started to get some good aero on its side right now, and Kevin Magnussen has just gone round the outside of me into the field. I don't know, I think the world must be ending right now, surely, because we are right behind Kevin Magnussen. We're actually having to fight him right now for position, and he's on pretty worn prime on option tyres. I'm pretty sure he's been on those tyres for a very, very long time, so I don't know quite what's going on, but we're going to have to try and overtake him, just showing maybe how poor the prime tyres really are. I did say they were disgusting, maybe they really are just that bad, but we've got a second chance to overtake Kevin Magnussen here onto the hanger straight with DRS, so let's see what we can do in the slipstream. Move to the left-hand side of the circuit, stay there this time, and we'll go right round the outside of Kevin, and we'll get back up into 5th place. Daniel Ricciardo leads the British Grand Prix still, you can see on the top left just before we cut to this shot, but it's looking very, very gloomy. You must say that I think the British weather is inevitably coming down at some point. It's just looking a bit too overcast, and it doesn't get this cloudy without some rain coming. At the moment, Daniel Ricciardo, I think, is in the pits. Giovinazzi definitely is. There you go. Ricciardo does move down the order. Vettel's in 2nd, Sainz in 4th. So I think that's Ricciardo confirming he's making an earlier pit stop. Just again, like he did before with the undercut on lap 7. He's making an undercut on lap 16. But, crucially, I can just about see it. Hopefully you guys can see it on the YouTube video. But we've got some spray, some spots of rain, some spray coming off the monocoque there on the top of our chassis by the Monster logo on our car. It's starting to rain, and Daniel Ricciardo may be ruining that decision to make a pit stop just then, because it looks like it's going to be inters very soon. Onto lap 18 we come through, and remember, we're on prime tyres. We can go a lot longer than these guys, and everyone has pit from those option tyres, and we're into 1st place of the British Grand Prix. The crowd must be going absolutely nuts as we come into Village, and we go a little bit deep there. It's getting very slippery, but we're into 1st place of our home Grand Prix. Remember last season, we got really, really screwed over by Nico Rosberg last season and Magnussen Beckett. Is this maybe some karma? Is this maybe some payback? We're getting very lucky because we're on primes. We can go as long as we can onto the intermediate tyres. We've got yellow flags. I wonder if someone spun, as we've got everyone in the pits behind us, so this has to be a backmarker. Yeah, it is Ocon in the Force India. Force India having a torrid season so far, a terrible one, and Ocon there with a puncher, I think that was. But as we move on to a replay, we're actually going to see that Ocon's demise actually caused quite a bit of a fuss, as you can see there. Stoffel Van Dorn smashes into the back of the Force India car and sends him flying in the air. As we move on to an onboard with Ocon, look at the air time so Esteban Ocon has got there in that crash. Crazy, crazy scenes there on that replay. But Stoffel Van Dorn, that's just confirming to him that he's going to be pretty much out the running in this race. I think he's still going in the race, but he's got no front wing and a puncher there. So it looks like Stoffel Van Dorn, the reigning world champion, having quite a torrid time so far in 2017, you must say. But right now, as we come into the pit stops, you can see a double stack that was as Pascal Wehrlein came in. Pascal Wehrlein looks like he's having another torrid race as well, Stoffel Van Dorn. So because you know, he wasn't ahead of me on track, he was about to get lapped by me, so that's why the double stack happened, actually, to my surprise. But we're on to the intermediate tyres now, and we should come out, well, this could be 1st place, and this could be the lead of the Grand Prix still, which would be absolutely amazing. I mean, you know, we saw Verstappen, Giovinazzi, Vettel, you know, Verstappen, all of them pitting, you know, for prime tyres, what would have been their dry tyre set, because it wasn't wet enough for inters. As we come out of the pits, hopefully we'll go to an onboard shot soon. As we come through Village, I think that's a Ferrari car. Is that Sebastian Vettel? Let's see. As we cut through onto lap 19, we're coming through the right-hander at the end of the hanger straight. Ricciardo's ahead of us. We're in 5th place at the moment, but they all crucially come into the pit. So this is going to be the lead of the British Grand Prix, I feel. I think all of these guys are still on dry tyres, and they're all coming in only now for intermediate. So we come through the final corner towards lap 20. 6 laps to go in this Grand Prix, and we're up into 3rd place. 2nd now, and it is 1st. We're into 1st place of the British Grand Prix. How do you like that? Absolutely fantastic stuff. So now we're just going to take it to the end. We'll see if maybe the full wets are maybe needed. But on to lap 23, you can see going wide into Maggots. We've been going quite slowly. We've not really had the pace on the wet conditions. The Mercedes car is pretty poor on low fuel in qualifying, and it's not really too great in the wet. And Sebastian Vettel is now right up our chuff on lap 23 with 3 laps to go this Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel vying for his 1st win of the season. He goes right around the outside of us. No DRS, remember, just pure speed and slipstream. And Vettel chucks that Ferrari round the outside, keeps it around the outside. I'm going to try my best. We bang tyres a little bit as I try and maybe just force an error through into the last chicane. We go side by side, down the inside. We've gone deep, though, into that corner. We've gone off the circuit. We bang tyres with Verstappen, and now Verstappen, lovely shot through the final corner, goes side by side. We'll just about get ahead of Verstappen again, and the Dutchman has to settle for third place, but Vettel is now bolted a little bit into first place. Iron Canning later into lap 24 through Village, struggling with some traction, major traction issues as we get a tank slapper on the exit. And now Verstappen, is he going to come through and get second place? Are we going to have some misery here at the British Grand Prix? It didn't happen for us last season. Is it not going to happen again? Are we going to go down to third place through Brooklands? We're on the inside of Brooklands, but we go a little bit wide to hang him out to dry, and we have just about got that into second place. But Sebastian Vettel has absolutely bolted there. As you can see onto lap 24, the gap he's got is enormous, but he's coming into the pits, and Max Verstappen behind us is. I've continued on because I don't see why they're coming to the pits. I think it might be time for full wets, but we've got only 2 laps left of the Grand Prix. Surely there's no point coming in for full wets. It's going to be a 20-second pit stop. They're not going to catch me. They're not going to catch 20 seconds in 2 laps, even if they are on the full wet tyres and I'm on intermediate. So we're going to stay out this lap. We're going to stay to the end of the Grand Prix. We can't to lap 26 through towards Brooklands, the Lovefield section, go down to lean mix to make sure we get the best traction possible, make sure the engine doesn't speed up those rear tyres. But at the moment you can see the mini-map, Vettel nowhere to be seen. He just comes through the minimap now. So I think we've got this as we come through the final chicane. This is going to be it. We go a little bit deep, very gingerly through the final few corners. But thankfully, after the misery we had at the British Grand Prix last season, we come through. We're going to win our 2nd race in a row. It's the British Grand Prix win. It's the home victory here in MyDriver Season 3. What a victory that has been. How lucky have we got today at the British Grand Prix? We needed a bit of rub of the luck there at our home Grand Prix. I think we deserved it, a bit of karma for Season 2, and we've come home with 25 points. Sebastian Vettel gets 2nd, Max Verstappen 3rd, so the Ferrari's still aiming to find that elusive win in the season yet. Kevin Magnussen gets a brilliant, fantastic 5th place. Carlos Sainz in 6th, Mick Schumacher in 7th for Alfa Romeo. Fantastic job by him. Lewis Hamilton down the order in 9th place, and my teammate Pascal Verlaine 17th place. Stoffel Van Dorn 16th with a penalty there. So a torrid day for Van Dorn and Verlaine. I maybe expected it from Verlaine. He's been really, really poor as of late. But Van Dorn, usually he's the one right up there, and Hamilton's the one with some torrid luck. So Van Dorn just getting some bad luck of the green there. But I can't believe that. Our 2nd win in a row. How do you like that, guys? If you have enjoyed the episode, smash that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're new around here to subscribe weekly Formula 1 content, I've been aarava. I'll leave you with the post-race interviews. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Well, I don't think you expected to be standing here with 2 wins on the bounce. Tell us how you're feeling right now.
Yeah, I can't really put it into words, to be honest. I think just an absolute unbelievable ton of events, and I think, you know, you told us we were going to win 2 races in a row in the first 3 rounds of the season. During pre-season, I think you would have been called insane because the pace just wasn't there. Pre-season, it still really hasn't been there. I think we got very lucky today, and I think the team and myself, we know that luck played into our hands, the British weather played into our hands, and I think maybe, a little bit of payback for what happened here last year. Such a shame last year at the home Grand Prix that we had that incident with Nico in the Maggot section, and we didn't get it right then. And today we have got it right. We took a gamble right at the end on staying out the Inters, and it worked out for us. But even before then, we got lucky of even getting into that position with the strategy. And the strategy call wasn't even trying to preempt the rain. We didn't know the rain was going to come. I certainly didn't know. We're going to put the prime tires on to maybe go faster at the end on options, but the rain just came, and absolutely unbelievable stuff here. And I just think hopefully this will motivate the team more. We know the car's not there. We have locked into this win a little bit. But sometimes you have to make your own luck, and us going on the prime tires was just that. But from last race, clearly it was a very tough one to defend off Gasly last race, and we saw on pure pace we weren't there. We had to undercut everyone. So we still need work to do, to actually be right up there on actual genuine stuff against the Red Bulls and Ferraris, and even the McLarens to an extent, who maybe tripped up on a few cars today, but yeah, wonderful day today, and I think we just soak it in, and hopefully the guys back at Brackley can take another win as a motivation to work harder.
It's been a crazy season so far, and you guys were certainly not the favorite to be leading at this point. How do you see the next few races going?
Yeah, it's been a crazy one, and in terms of the next few races, well, as I said, hopefully this will motivate the team a lot more. You know, the long European season to go, a lot of races to go in Europe, so plenty of time to bring upgrades. But of course, other teams will be. You know, we saw today over the weekend. You know, yesterday Ferrari brought upgrades. They were faster than Red Bull just about in qualifying, so they're trying to beat Red Bull in that sense. And you know, Vettel could have easily got us today if it wasn't for the fact that we took a gamble and it worked out in the last 2 laps with the Inters. So I think it will be a tough fight. You know, we saw also Toro Rosso looking very, very quick earlier today. So that was a little bit surprising and worrying in a way. So that will be something we have to look at. And also, you got to say, you know, with how people tripped up over each other, you got the likes of Alfa Romeo coming in. You know, Renault seems like they've made a big step in terms of downforce here at this weekend. I think they've, you know, finally got to grips with the new regulations with the downforce, the engines there, because you know, clearly Red Bull show that. So it's going to be a very tough fight. I think it's going to be very tough for us to actually get into that top 2, top 3 even spot of car performance. I think it will be a bit of a fight, but you know, if we're consistent, I think we've shown previous seasons that if you're consistent, I think we can, you know, just about maybe, you know, try and do something. But at the moment, it's a bit too early to think about anything like the championship. You know, a long way to go, and I know all about that from last season. So yeah.
And lastly, do you care to comment on the rumors Hamilton may return to Mercedes to replace your teammate who hasn't exactly been performing so far?
It's the first time I've heard that rumor. Well, I'm not one to comment on my teammate. You know, Pascal, I have a great working relationship with him. He's a great guy, and but you know, he's won his first Formula 1 race debut last season, and he's not a slouch. I think he's just having maybe a little bit of torrid luck at the moment, and I enjoy working with him. So it's not up to me though, of course, and I don't feel like I should comment on that. Hamilton is, you know, obviously a great driver, and he's going through another tough time as well, along with Pascal. I think both of them have had some bad luck, but you know, equally, me and Van Dorn, you know, the counterpart teammates, have had bad luck in the past. So I think it's just one of those things that happens in F1, ebb and flow of, you know, you ride your luck. But I'm not really going to comment on that. I don't think it's appropriate for me to do that, but it's the first time I'm hearing it.
All right, thanks for your time.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.